Well, the good news is that half of the slides that I have, Harvey already put up, so we will have a much briefer piece for you. I'd like to emphasize that this is the 70th anniversary, and I'd like everybody to think a little bit about, what was happening 70 years ago at Purdue University Calumet. Saul, can you help us with that? We know, although Saul wasn't there, we know that 70 years ago we were delivering classes in local municipal buildings throughout this area of Northwest Indiana. Why? Because Purdue is a land-grant university, and as part of the land-grant mission, wanted to bring more to the region, particularly in the area of manufacturing and engineering. I'm sure that those that started 70 years ago would not have imagined where we are today. And I'm sure we will find it very difficult too, thinking about what we will look like 70 years from now. But what we do know is that the future 70 years from now really lies in the hands of those of us that are in the room today. It is our work, it's our dedication, it's our responsibility to make sure that Purdue is represented in the best and most positive way in Northwest Indiana. So I'm looking forward to another 70 years. Not for me, but for someone. I'm going to start with just a thank you to a number of people that are in the room. One of the people that's not on the slide is our former Chancellor, Howard Keon, who I saw earlier today. And Howard, for 10 years, teed us up to where we're going today. So we thank you, Howard. Our interim Vice Chancellor and Provost, Karen Schmid. And for most of the year, I must, recognize Peggy Gerard as well. Our Vice Chancellor for Finance and Administration, Mr. Steve Turner. Our Vice Chancellor for Enrollment Management and Student Affairs, Dr. Carmen Panlilio. Our Vice Chancellor for Information Services, who will be retiring soon, and we will miss her, Dr. Sarah Howard. She was clapping if you didn't see that. Our Vice Chancellor for Institutional Advancement, and I'm going to note, Dr. Regina Biddings-Moreau. Our Chief of Staff, Robert Ennis, and our Athletic Director, Rick Costello. And I must also thank, on behalf of the university, my wife, Nancy, who dedicates many, many hours, many more than you could believe, to ensure that this university stays strong, both financially and in reputation. So thank you. I wanted to point out a little bit about students, faculty, it should say staff, and campus. And in doing so, you're going to see a number of illustrations that Harvey shared with you. Rather than go through each of those again in the same way he did, what I would like to do is talk to you just a little bit about, who we are as a university and who we want to be as a university and what we should be as a university. First and foremost, we are student-centered, and we're dedicating a significant amount of time and energy to make sure that we remain student-centered. So as you look at the individuals that are on this slide, you know that there was significant effort in the communications department, in athletics. The two athletes, come from history and biology. So there are many, many people who have contributed to getting our students the awards and achievements that they so desire and deserve. We have, again, more of examples of what's happening at the university. And Harvey talked about the undergraduate research. Undergraduate research is a significant part of our university and is a significant part of student success and student retention and student placement, whether that placement is for graduate school or whether they should decide to go on to work. So it is not a single stop on their journey for education, but rather part of an overall academic atmosphere and environment that enriches the quality of our students. Faculty success, our nursing faculty, who we're always proud of, were recognized as a Center for Excellence. This is an extraordinary achievement for them. But again, it's a more extraordinary achievement for their students, for what it provides to them. We had a nice leap in our freshman to sophomore retention from 68.8 to 73.5. And all of you should know that this could only happen because of faculty and staff. Tremendous number of staff hours have gone in to helping and aiding our students so they can achieve better and stay longer. Again, for faculty achievement, all of these are again, people you've seen either on our website or on Harvey's slides. But it is because of faculty achievement that we become the strength of Northwest Indiana. It's because of faculty achievement that we have students in high school and their parents saying, you should go to Purdue University Calumet, which is something that I always strive for and I always encourage. We must also, however, have facilities and an attractive campus. With the partnership we have with Community Hospital, we were able to redo a part of the recreation center to put in this nice athletic and training facility. This was completely paid for by Community Hospital. Additionally, those people who had to move to another part of the recreation center who needed new facilities, Community Hospital paid for the renovation of those areas as well. So we have a wonderful partner, and we have many other wonderful partners. As you all know, we've been in a partnership with the city for Dowling Park, and we hope to bring that to closure fairly quickly. We opened the Commercialization and Manufacturing Excellence Center In that top left picture to my left are Dave and Susan Roberts. They provided the anchor investment or donation, if you will, as well as a match from Dave's company. He is the CEO of Carlisle Industries, which is a $2.5 billion business. I might add that just last week he called me and said, "Tom, you know, Susan and I were so excited about what we saw on your campus that I'm sending you some stock next week." We have received the stock and another match from Carlisle Industries. So we're very proud. Some of you, probably those that are around me the most, know how concerned I've been over the last 4 years about our purple cafeteria. Also, some of the areas of Calumet Falls that had fallen. So this summer, one of the major projects taken on by the university was to bring this first floor of this building up to a level that should be appropriate for a high-quality university with many, many full-time students that spend many, many hours on campus every day. So I'm very excited to see these pictures. I've been more excited walking through them every week or two to see the progress, and most excited now to see what our cafeteria looks like and what our student lounge looks like in this building. Our president likes to talk about affordability, and as such, I thought that it would be important to add this slide. This slide, by the way, and the next 3 or 4 slides, I produced to provide the information to the Commission of Higher Education that met here. So I thought it only appropriate if we shared this with the Commission of Higher Education that we look at it ourselves. They, of course, are concerned with affordability. But they're also interested in retention. And I might tell you that while I presented this to them at dinner, this was a slide that caught their attention. If you look at this, we broke the regional campuses out, and we're at the top right now, and I hope we can stay close to the top. But I also added the four-year institutions, because we always get lumped in with the regionals. Nobody ever thinks about comparing us to the others. And so once you put this up and you look to the right, you immediately see there are only 3 other universities in the state, Bloomington and West Lafayette, who really have very different populations of students than we do, and Ball State. So thank you all for your efforts on retention. They were also very pleased to see that in terms of retention for minority students, and again, this is just the first-in-time freshmen, but you can see the gap has been closing and closing, and the reason it's closing is really the work of a lot of staff and faculty. Student success has really become a different emphasis at the university. We always had something we call class, which was sort of a place where we put people that were misguided or needed some additional help academically. Now, class is an area where we dedicate significant time and resources to making sure that those students are successful and that they're working toward choosing a major, because we know that when they choose a major, they're more likely to graduate. And so thank you to all the staff that have been working with class. This next slide, frankly, really surprised me. And I know it surprised the Commission of Higher Education as well. While we look at closing the gap for a number of groups of students, this is the gap between those students who have parents that did not go to college, our first generation students, much like myself. My father never finished high school. Those are the students that need lots of help, not intellectually, but personally. They need help in understanding what the university environment is, how to manage the university environment, how to manage their lives. Many of them think that they need to work full-time and go to school full-time, which makes it very difficult for them. When you compare them to students who have had at least one parent graduate from college, or maybe even third or fourth generation college, the success rate becomes incredible. One of the efforts that I believe we need to move toward going forward is not only to penetrate the students who are first generation, but when we can, try to get more engaged with parents of first generation students. I had a wonderful meeting this summer with our foreign language department, or at least many of those people in our modern language department. And one of them does get involved, particularly with the Hispanic, the Hispanic community. And I encouraged the group to get more involved, more engaged, particularly with parents. Hammond, K-12, is 50% Hispanic. And East Chicago, K-12, is slightly more than 50% Hispanic. We know that these are students who come and work hard and know what it means to work hard, but they don't always have the home environment that understands what they need to do and how they need to manage their lives. We're always hearing 15 to finish from Itchy, and quite frankly, it bugs me. However, when we put this data together, it did make it clear that the students who are taking 15 hours overall are staying with us a little bit more than those that are taking less than 15 hours. Graduation, always like to see the number of degrees that we give out. Of course, our associate degrees are dwindling by choice. But we're doing well in every other area. There certainly was a drop in bachelor's degrees, but we know that overall. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on unification. You can applaud. But, you know, our all-familiar timeline that we tried to put out some time ago keeps sneaking to the right. We did get our application in. We do have dates November 16th and 17th for the Higher Learning Commission to come and review the process and progress that we're making. Karen and Chancellor Dworkin and I met just last week with the Higher Learning Commission in Chicago, and after that meeting, I think all three of us left feeling very comfortable that, this will be an exercise that will be positive for our campus, our faculty, students, and staff. We do have a new mission and vision for the university. I know all of you have seen it. The only thing I would like to again emphasize is that land grant portion. Although we are truly not the land grant university, West Lafayette is, I think one of the things that is important to us is that we keep that land grant philosophy in our minds and in our efforts as we go forward. Currently, you see that when you look at North Central and at Calumet, there are 11 colleges, 29 departments, and 1 school. The most recent proposal has 6 colleges, 18 departments, and 3 schools. This next slide shows you what is in existence at both campuses, and then the proposed structure. Can you click that one more time? Thank you. We're going to fill the schools in. The proposed structure looks like this. This is available on the website. Many of you may have seen it. It is still in draft form. There are still some pieces that need to be worked on by the faculty. We do want more faculty input. You can provide input on the website if you would like, and we will give you feedback as well. Our hope is to get this to West Lafayette the first week of September so that it can be on the October 9th trustee board meeting for West Lafayette. In closing, yay, I want you to know and understand that I have a great appreciation for how stressful change is. I know all of you have concerns. I know that there are some of you who have excitement and have a yearn to do something new. Whether it's excitement about doing something new or whether it's concerns about loss of what you might have, I certainly realize the stress related to that. Finally, I would say, despite all of what has gone on with unification and what was in the presentation, that we had a wonderful 14-15 year, and I wish us to have a most wonderful 15-16 year as well. Thank you very much.